The cardiac monitor emitted a consistent beep behind me while I fixed my gaze on her. She remained completely unfazed. "Sign it," she insisted again, tossing the pen onto the tray table beside my hand. "I deserve an ideal spouse. Not whatever this is." Her hand waved dismissively toward my wheelchair, as though I were a faulty gadget ready for disposal. "Hello, I'm Cole Waverly. Roughly a month earlier, a drunk driver struck me. Spinal injury. Temporary loss of mobility. The physicians assured me that consistent rehabilitation would likely allow me to walk once more. Yet my wife viewed me as nothing more than a liability. Not as a person. I picked up the pen, remained utterly silent, put my signature on the divorce petition. She smiled broadly. "Excellent. You've chosen wisely." Then she spun around, her heels echoing sharply on the cold hospital tiles, and disappeared through the doorway, as if I'd already ceased to exist. The nurse glanced over. "Are you all right?" I offered a composed, icy grin. "Absolutely. Perfectly all right." Right before she departed, I'd added one final comment. "Cover your medical costs yourself from now on." She chuckled as though I were joking, but she had no clue about one crucial detail. She never bothered to verify whose name appeared on the insurance policy, and she certainly hadn't examined the signature I placed on those divorce documents with any real attention. It wasn't Cole Waverly. The signature I used? Nathaniel Cole. My official alternate identity. A name reserved solely for specific legal agreements. And the corporation I established long ago. The one holding title to the residence, the cars, and yes, even the medical coverage she'd relied upon for the past 5 years. She never inquired. She never showed interest. My complete legal name, Cole Nathaniel Waverly, she'd heard spoken aloud just once during our wedding ceremony, before she pressed me to abbreviate it for convenience. Cole sounded stronger, more appealing for business. Hadn't argued back then. I avoid pointless battles. Instead, I construct solutions around obstacles. Silently, deliberately. And now, propped up in this intensive care unit bed, it dawned on me that she'd never once questioned the financial arrangements. Never asked about the company name tied to our joint possessions, or who managed the payments. She simply accepted the cards, scheduled her yoga getaways, and left the details to me. Until a more attractive option appeared. One without limitations. One that seemed superior. Now she believed herself liberated. She figured she'd shed the weight before it became unbearable. But the notice canceling the insurance? It would land in her email inbox precisely at midnight. And the house access code? It would deactivate within 48 hours. She acted swiftly. Merely 2 days post-divorce filing, she was sharing cheerful photos from a rooftop lounge, tagging a man called Bryce with phrases like "finally liberated," "darling," and "brand new beginnings ahead." I knew exactly who he was. The rehab specialist. He'd visited our home previously for her mother's therapy appointments. Apparently, I wasn't the only recipient of his attention. I showed no outward response. Merely observed. In the background, the structures I'd discreetly assembled, none bearing her name, began to realign. The premium vehicle? Leased through my alternate identity. Now reclaimed. Her fitness club subscription? Terminated. Credit cards rejected. That same evening she rang me, her tone laced with fury. "Something's off with the vehicle. And has the Wi-Fi been disconnected?" I took a slow sip of tea. Perhaps examine the account holder's name. Click. True alarm set in the following morning when the hotel front desk informed her the booked suite had been canceled, the payment method declined, and no alternative provided. There she stood, clad in high-end attire, with no place to rest. I reviewed the camera recordings. Because another fact escaped her notice, the complete property fell under Waverly Holdings, LLC, and every inch belonged to me. 14 days went by. No contact from my side. The quiet unsettled her. A mutual acquaintance mentioned she'd appeared at my former residence without warning. Honked repeatedly from the street, as was her old habit. No answer at the door. She departed. The day after, papers were delivered to her at the fitness center. A discreet package from Waverly Holdings. Expecting invoices, she tore it open. Instead, a notice of foreclosure. The condominium she'd received as a gift had fallen into default. The funding source had been methodically withdrawn, entirely lawfully, by its true proprietor. Myself. That evening, a voicemail arrived. "Hey, it's me. I believe there's been an error somewhere. Please reach out." There was no error. By that point, I'd already relocated to Seattle. Fresh workspace. Luxurious new residence. Fresh chapter. Surrounded by individuals who valued me regardless of mobility. She'd once labeled me a liability confined to a wheelchair. But the reality was far different. She failed to grasp that I had designed the very foundation of her comfortable existence. And now, the only thing crumbling was the facade she'd constructed her self-image upon. The unraveling began modestly. Her gym access denied. Then her preferred premium card, the one she loved displaying, refused at the wellness center. She contacted the bank in a rage. They explained that the joint account holder had withdrawn every cent. She insisted it had to be wrong. It wasn't. I'd lawfully detached myself from all arrangements, and those arrangements had always been mine to control. She'd resided in a home she never financed, driven a vehicle she never purchased, and expended funds she assumed were inexhaustible. Yet the family trust? I'd redirected it. Back to the authentic identity listed on the initial medical records. Surprised? She still hadn't connected that I'd covered her mother's specialized nursing facility and her sister's advanced education expenses. She believed charisma alone sustained her. She never reviewed the accounts. One morning, she shared a pained social media update. Certain individuals are truly cruel. It marked the first time she'd referenced me since abandoning me in that hospital room. I observed without comment. Because stripping away the veneer of affluence from someone who exploited you reveals their genuine nature in full. She attempted another call. This time, no effort to conceal the pleading tone. "Cole, we should discuss this." I didn't intend those words that day. I felt swamped. "I miss you." No reply from me. Instead, I sent the recording to my attorney, together with her earlier message to Bryce. He finally agreed. Freedom at last. Time to celebrate, sweetheart. She remained unaware that during those hospital hours, while appearing agreeable, I'd preserved every interaction. Unaware I'd held authority over the medical payments she'd assumed vanished effortlessly. And certainly unaware that the charitable organization she paraded for status, the one featuring her name on every event invitation, was undergoing a complete rebranding. To exclude her. Now, with her identity erased from documents, ownership records, and filings. She had become merely a woman relying on photo edits and a growing stack of overdue notices. To her, I'd been invisible, subdued, disposable. Now I was the unseen force she couldn't escape, and the realm she once dominated no longer answered to her. The decisive strike landed on a stormy Tuesday. She entered the upscale legal office she favored for her high-profile separation proceedings, the one she boasted about keeping on quick dial. The desk attendant glanced up, noted her name, and offered a restrained smile. "Mr. Waverly asked that we deliver this directly to you." Within the envelope lay a solitary document, a formal order to halt any further unauthorized association with the Waverly Foundation's title and resources. She turned it over. At the base appeared my full signature, this time written completely, Cole Nathaniel Waverly, principal owner, exclusive administrator, and ultimate authority. She attempted to object. "Hold on." He relinquished everything upon signing. The attorney emerged from his office, already dismissing her claim with a headshake. "Your former spouse surrendered nothing. You simply never noticed what he established." That evening came her final attempt to reach me. No hostility. No justifications. Merely one quiet sentence. "Why didn't you ever reveal your true identity?" I studied the phone screen. "Because you never inquired," I reflected. "You simply treated me as part of the decor. An object. And I offer no explanations to those who fixate solely on the mobility aid, never the individual using it." I maneuvered my chair into the media event, attired in a custom-fitted ensemble, my tone carrying neither sympathy nor strain. Cameras flashed as I neared the platform. Journalists pressed closer. Behind me, the fresh display illuminated, not our corporate logo, but the charitable initiative I'd initiated honoring my deceased father-in-law. The audience whispered. "My identity," I stated evenly, "is Cole Nathaniel Waverly." A backdrop screen descended, displaying records, registrations, private collaborations, and contribution details. Every cent she'd ever utilized traced directly to my resources. Every residence. Every automobile. Even the medical facility itself. Today I stepped down from leadership. My former spouse will be granted the balance of the separation agreement, which amounts to precisely zero. No outcries. No cheers. merely profound quiet, the sort that accompanies the shattering of false realities. She lingered at the periphery of the platform, eyes swollen and red, utterly still, not out of remorse, but from the abrupt, permanent understanding. She'd never truly known me, and now she never would, because certain individuals require no volume to command attention. We simply exercise patience. We simply create. And when the moment arrives, we depart in complete silence.